Good morning, welcome to Merriweather Beach. Another beautiful morning, surf's about 1 to 2 foot. Today we're with John Grew from Ask Property, which we'll talk to John about shortly. Just a reminder about the Beach Business Breakfast, $10, third Thursday of every month, informal networking, opportunity to meet with other business people and talk about what they do and what you do and how you can work together or help each other. To get involved, www.beachbusinessbreakfast.com.au. So Jeremy's here again. How are you, Jeremy?
Yeah, great, thank you. Having a great morning.
That's good. Yeah, beautiful. You got nothing to complain about when we got this every morning, is there?
I love being at the beach this time of morning.
It's fantastic. Yeah. So John, you're with Ask Property, which is a new venture that you're
Yes.
getting into, which is good. So we'll talk about that shortly. But tell us a bit about yourself and what you've done to this point in your life and business, and just so people get to know you a bit better.
Yeah, being an old bloke, I've been around for a while. I first started off working at the store co-op at Charlestown when I started work as a salesperson in furniture.
Yep.
After kicking around for a while, I thought, well, what will I do? And the lady that works there, her husband's his master apprentice, so I ended up being an apprentice bricklayer at HP.
Okay, fantastic.
Coming from a wild area, I got in a bit of trouble with the older guys stealing my lunch and everything like that. So after I put a couple of guys in the hospital, my dentures weren't signed. So I thought about it and I went to TAFE and did accountancy.
Okay.
So a short career in bricklaying.
Yes, it's about 3 or 4 months in bricklaying. It was an accident. We were at a brick plant, we were on a line throwing bricks, and this guy happened to cut one in the jaw and another guy cut one in the nose. So they steal your cigarettes and your lunch, and I wasn't used to that.
That was the
Rough old days.
Yeah. But,
When men were men and bricks were bricks, yeah.
Yeah, so then off to TAFE.
It's quieting down a bit. Yeah, I did accounting, and I got 3 years into it. And while I was doing commercial law, I went over to uni and started reading case law and precedents and whatever. 10 hours later, I thought, my godfather, I love this stuff. And I want to go to commercial law. Met a lady, that didn't happen.
Yep.
So I ended up going and working for Coles Myer. I ended up being district manager for 10 years in Western Australia and over here.
Excellent.
Managing the service bays and auto accessories.
Yep.
Then a divorce come along, I got out of management and got into sales and marketing.
So from sales back to sales.
Yeah, well, it was more management marketing in Coles Myer back then, before Wesfarmers come along. And sales was different. My old man always used to say I hate salesmen, but worked with companies like Bluescope Steel as an account manager, AGL, Foxtel, wrote resources, did training, did sales, business to business, domestic.
Yep. So with Foxtel, you're involved when they did the rollout up here, I think, weren't you?
Yeah, we just finished doing through Salesforce doing the 2000 Olympics, and as soon as that finished, the rollout of satellite TV in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So what did you do there? Were you sort of walking around?
I was door knocking from door to door.
Yeah. That's how they did it in those days. Yeah, we used to knock on the door and
Pure salesman, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was fun. It worked hard and played hard, and there's some real characters in direct sales.
Yeah,
you have to be to survive.
Quite strong to take the knocks.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. So with the venture now, Ask Property. Tell us a bit about that and how that came about.
The last several years I've been working in and around property. I spent some time, 5 years with a company that built about 800 to 1,000 homes a year.
Yep.
And I worked in the sales and finance side of it. And we had offices in Gold Coast, Newcastle and Northwest Sydney. I started off selling for them, then writing training resources and training their staff. And from there I went into construction last year with Granny Flats and worked as an employee and found out that...
Not laying bricks, I hope.
Yep.
No. I soon found out I'm not a good employee. I'm too bombastic. I want to be the boss.
Yeah, you like working for yourself. So then...
Yeah, I look back at what I've been doing over the years. That ended in December this year. I looked over the years and I thought, I love property. My son's an architect. My daughter loves designing.
Yep.
And I see it as a stronger vehicle than commodities or shares, especially since the GFC.
Yep.
And I thought, well, I'd like to do something now that I'm at this age where I get out of bed and look forward to going to work. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about Ask and what services it provides and what it's going to be doing.
The backbone, there's a few things I do with Ask, but 80% of the work will be sourcing investment property from people, so demographics from 40 to 55. with the aim of helping to retire as self-funded retirees rather than being
On the pension.
on a pension, which you really after 40 years in the workforce, you want a reward, not a punishment. And to me,
Yeah.
a pension is a punishment.
Yeah. Okay.
So you'll be out looking for properties that are rented or
I
to be
do
rented
all
and-
the due diligence. I'm going to mainly be dealing with clients here in Newcastle, and the majority of the work that the vehicles I want to put them into are actually units, homes here in the Newcastle area, because I see Newcastle as a regional area that's going ahead in leaps and bounds, and will be for some time.
Yep.
We mentioned the BHP. Since the BHP being a steel city, we're morphing into a tourist destination, a service sector, and an educational hub. And you can see what's happening from Nobbies right through the Merrier, in the CBD, the amount of cafes and everything popping up.
Yes. Great.
It's a
All those
great place to live.
warehouses
Have a
are
look at
turned
this.
into gyms and cafes, and there's tower cranes everywhere. It's
Yeah.
And like the
Fantastic.
new uni that's moving into town, all the students in bring and that
It's-
sort of thing.
It's all happening.
really see it turning into sort of like a circular quay kind of cosmopolitan sort of feel compared to the old what was it, wool sheds and rail yards and all the other junk that used to be there 20, 30 years ago.
Yep. So with so where will you be sourcing the properties from? What's the plan there?
Well, I'm already working with a company that's got properties up and going in and around the greater Newcastle area. That's the main area, Lower Hunter, Newcastle, Lake Macquarie.
Yep.
I have contacts there and made friends with people over the years, so I can get information before they hit the market.
Yep.
It's an exciting place to be.
Yeah. So that's sort of like dealing with sort of off-market properties and that sort of thing.
Virtually off the plan.
Off
There'll
the
be
plan.
a smattering of already built, ready to be sold. I found most people in the investment property industry are pushing developments that they're doing in Melbourne or southeast Queensland,
Yep.
and they tell people to take the emotion out of it, and because to drive past and look at your property, that's emotional. You got to look at the numbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I look at it from the client's point of view. If they want a home in Newcastle and there are advantages there for capital gain and good return rental yield, why not do it in your local area?
Yeah.
At least you can go there if you want to.
It might be a bit bold at this stage, but I feel that Newcastle properties will double in the next 7 to 10 years. And I've got figures to back that up. I've got 40 years of government figures at home. So I do quite a bit of investigation.
Yeah.
If I see a client, I don't want to be ducking behind a building or walking behind the street. I want them putting their hand out and say, thank you.
Yeah. So who are you targeting? What sort of people? You said people at age, say, 40 to 55.
40 to 55, people are starting to think about retirement and how they'd like to retire. Apart from looking at the purchase of property, we look at a holistic point of view. Do you need to put money away for your children's education? Are they going to university? You got any major holidays planned? What your credit card situation is. Consolidation. It's like a complete service when we're doing a property. We'd like to tie a few things in. I'm not a professional in every area, so I have people in finance, I have people in real estate, I have people in conveyancing, and you take not advantage, but you get to use our experience over the years.
So you've got sort of an experienced team.
Quite helpful tying the property purchase to like an outcome. Like what you said before was like, oh well, let's work out why you're doing this, not just because, I don't know, not to become like money bags or have lots of properties, but oh well, this is going to be in 15 years time, we'll end up with a couple of houses, which means that'll pay for a trip to, Europe once every year or something like that. That's kind of what you're talking about?
The great thing about having a plan into retirement is that once you retire, you have choices. You're not bound by a limited income, you actually have choices. So for argument's sake, if the surf's no good here today, you want to go up the Lennox Head, or you want to go down to Kiama, you jump in the car and go and stay overnight because you've put your finances in order before you retire.
So getting customers, how are you going to go about that? What's the plan?
Looking to do 3 seminars a year. Have a small telemarketing team of 3 people so I can keep control and make sure that telemarketers can get a little bit out of hand. And that's the crux of it. It's 3 telemarketers. I have a network around the area, and the seminars that we've done in the past from Central Coast up to the Hunter Valley being extremely successful because people like to deal face to face. And my age group, I find that you know, with an A4 piece of paper down talking about something rather than a computer screen,
Yeah.
they're much more comfortable.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's and so you've got links to quite a few developers around town. So
Yeah,
quite a bit of
I've
different
actually gone to see about units that are going up at the moment. See, the great thing about Newcastle, Greater Newcastle area, you've got Trinity Point happening down in Morisset. At the
Yeah.
other end, I'm dealing with a set of units going up at Curry Curry.
stock. Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
very diverse.
Yeah, yeah, quite a lot of different opportunities around, isn't there?
Most definitely.
Jeremy was saying the off the plan with the cranes in town and
I've got a daughter looking to buy her first investment property. She's only got just under 30 grand saved. Now, and most people say, oh, you won't get a 2-bedroom unit for under 300. Well, then Curry Curry you can.
yeah,
And you get $300 a week rental.
yeah,
That finding the right place, and people are not trying to move out of Newcastle. It's a place where it's good lifestyle, jobs, there's reasonably sort of
Education,
diverse activity, and so and I guess so the interesting that the expressway up to the Hunter Valley, I guess, has really opened up Curry and Heddon Green, all those areas which, you know, would have used to take you, say, for, I don't know, 45 minutes to get to Newcastle,
Yeah.
which now, assuming you don't do it in peak hour, is a much quicker trip. So it means that those areas are more desirable, right? Like,
Well, I think that area up there is a little bit like the northwest of Sydney, where they've got the sprawl going out away from the city.
Yeah.
Same thing's happening up here. Our population is growing. Immigration and birth rates are almost equal at the moment. So the old adage of supply and demand and free enterprise.
people
it's
need
happening.
somewhere to live.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's good.
So, John, you've spent the last 5 weeks back at school.
Yeah,
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so you're in the NEIS program, weren't you?
yes, that's correct. I'm doing my Cert 4 in business management. The idea behind that was I had 3 or 4 months off over Christmas, and my son's pointed out there's a bit of a trend with that every summer for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I seem to put down my tools and
Yeah.
and enjoy what's out the front of us here. But he doesn't know I do a bit of work in amongst that and a bit of planning. And the idea was to get my head back into a work mode. Everything I've learned over the years, like it's been a long time since I did accountancy, I did a business plan. So I thought I'd sit down and do it and do this properly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what sort of things did they take you through during the NEIS program?
It's basically it's all about your cash flow. It's all about marketing, operational, everything right through the balance sheet.
Sort of fundamental things to running a business and sort of a business planning process as well, isn't it?
Yeah, most small to medium enterprise out there runs by the seat of their pants. They don't strategise or plan. Or if they've got a year's trading under their belt, it's good to sit back and reflect and have the tools to do that.
Yeah.
So you can't expand unless you know where you're at, or you've got to track it, know what's in the bank. Most people look at their bank balance and go, yeah, I'm going okay. But part of that might be owed to your creditors or your tax man or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, it's getting the mindset of back into business.
Yeah. That's cool. And what did they sort of teach you about, say, marketing and that sort of stuff? What are they sort of pushing there? They're pushing social media and those sorts of things? Or-
Really not
or is it
pushing
sort of-
any
or is it
direct
like
marketing.
horses for courses, like depends upon what your business is and who your customers are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Know who your target market is.
Yeah.
Know what your channel of distribution is. It's just a lot of basic stuff, but I had it at the back of my mind, but it brings it forward.
Yep.
But the great thing with NEIS as well, once you've finished and done your plan and handed it in, they'll give you 9 months support
Yep.
with their people, their accountants and what have you. So, if you hit a crutch anywhere, you've got somewhere to go back to.
Yeah. No, that's good. You need that sort of support network,
Yeah.
which is really good. So, well, one of the questions we do ask is if you were starting today, what would you do different? But
Which you are starting today.
You've only sort of just starting. So, but I suppose looking back over your years in business as an employee, self-employed, doing different jobs in different industries, different training, what's the best bit of business advice you've ever been given?
Yeah, and it's my mantra these days, is have a look, get on the client's agenda, look at it from their point of view, because without clients you don't have a business,
Yep.
and it's only the client can sack the CEO.
Yeah, that's a famous quote, that one, isn't it? Only
Yeah.
the client can sack the CEO.
And it's a place like Newcastle, word of mouth's everything. As I said earlier, I want a client putting their hand out saying thank you and becoming an advocate for me.
Yeah.
And when I put my head on my pillow for the night, I want to sleep. So,
Yeah.
look, you might have to say, well, look, to a client, I disagree with what you're saying and show them why, but you've got to listen and understand where they're coming from to be able to meet their needs.
Yeah,
You sit alongside them and work with them and find the solution instead of just trying to sell them something, basically.
The day of the hard sell is gone. I think relationship building and consulting is the way to go. People are much more informed these days with social media.
Yeah, and there's a lot more access to information around, isn't there? You know, they can check things out, do their own due diligence and all that sort of stuff, no matter what industry you're in.
Definitely. The days of the 70s, 80s are gone. You've got to get smart about what you do these days. And be professional. You've got to do your homework.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I've just come from school, so I do my homework.
Excellent. Well, look, we look forward to hearing of your progress at the Beach Business Breakfast Network, which John's a member of and has been from the start, which is good. So just a reminder, Beach Business Breakfast, third Thursday of every month, 7:30 till 8:30. $10 gets you great breakfast and informal networking. So it's a great way to meet some contacts and
most definitely.
Yeah, and learn from
nice and relaxed.
Yeah, very informal. So thanks again, John.
Pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all next time.
Good work.